Hello everybody, Trevor here. Do you remember my past videos where I talked about my most favorite Thomas characters including Thomas, Trevor, Duncan, and Sir Topham Hatt? Well, recently, I got a couple of people requesting me to do a top 5 or 6 least favorite Thomas characters. But for today, I'm going to talk about 6 of them. Now, believe it or not, there are some characters in the franchise I don't really like. But that doesn't mean they have no reason to exist because, like I always say, anything that's bad has the potential to be good. But that's just my opinion. For this list, I'm only going to include characters that appeared in the main TV series canon, which means I'm not going to pick characters from the reboot. Now with that out of the way, let's get chugging. Number 6 is a tie between Nia and Rebecca. Oh yes, these two. Two of the most hated new characters in the entire Big World Big Adventures era. At first, I thought they were okay characters. But the more research I did on them, including YouTube videos, the more I started to resent them because they are Mary Sue's, which means they have no flaws. I can understand Nia existing and why some people may like her in an aesthetic standpoint, but for Rebecca, she's basically Molly 2.0. It's such a missed opportunity to bring back Molly for this time period of the show. But let me guess, Mattel, we're all racist and sexist for hating these two characters. If there are a couple things I do like about them, it would be that they're nice and helpful, unlike certain characters. But that doesn't excuse the fact that they are both Mary Sue's. I was going to put them as number 1, but I decided to put them on the low ranking of this list because they're not as unlikable as certain characters, which I'll get to later in the video. Number 5 is Dennis. One interesting thing about Dennis is that he only appeared a few times in the show. First in Thomas's Day Off, then a couple more cameos in the show, including The Great Discovery. He was also going to return in Day of the Diesels as one of Diesel 10's henchmen, but got replaced by a new character named Norman. But the real reason why I don't like him is that he was pretty rude to Thomas by not doing his own work, and had to rely on Thomas to help him during his day off. In other words, he's lazy. Gee, I never seen that before in the show. Come to think of it, I think Thomas's Day Off could have worked better if Daisy had the role instead of Dennis because we already have a diesel engine that's lazy, and that's her. But hey, at least Dennis learned his lesson in the end unlike certain characters. But that doesn't stop me from putting him on the list. Number 4, Ace the Racer. It's no secret I don't like this character when it comes to Big World Big Adventures. I mean, he's such a jerk. Not only he broke the rules of the road, but he almost ran over the Reverend W. Audrey at one point in the movie. I mean, that's horrible! That's like going back in time just to assassinate George W. Bush. And I like George W. Bush! Look, I know he's a race car and all, but shouldn't race cars follow the rules of the road too? Not to mention that he's a bad role model to Thomas. For instance, he made him play a trick on Nia during their trip to the Grand Canyon. Ace may not be all bad. I mean, I do think Peter Andre is perfect for the role, and I do like the design of Ace, but that doesn't excuse his jerky personality. If you think he's cool, that's fine. Just don't defend him for his actions. Number 3, Billy. Remember in my top 5 worst episodes in the new model era by Hit Entertainment where I put this character's episode as my least favorite of the time period? I have to say Billy has to be my least favorite character when it comes to the new series because he's such an unlikable brat and was pretty rude to Thomas. Thomas was just trying to help him, but Billy kept refusing until he ran out of coal and water. After Thomas helped him get fueled up and do his jobs correctly, Billy was like, "Thomas, you're not a bossy boiler, and I enjoy working with you." "Yeah, I enjoy working with you, my ass." But Billy isn't all bad though. I do like his design, orange paint, and buck teeth, but that doesn't excuse his bratty personality. If you guys like the character, that's perfectly fine, but for me, I've seen better. Number 2, the Logging Locos. Oh yes, the Logging Locos, Bash, Dash, and Ferdinand. 3 of my least favorite new characters in the Sharon Miller era. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I do like the designs of them, as well as their voice actors, particularly in the US version because, you know, they're American designs. But the real reason why I hate them so much is their annoying personalities. Bash and Dash are just Misty Island equivalents of Bill and Ben, and they finish each other's sentences. Ferdinand has the same personality as them, but what makes him even more annoying is his catchphrase, "That's right." According to some website, he was a friendly giant, and because of that, I honestly thought he was going to be the Misty Island equivalent of Edward and helps keep Bash and Dash in order, which would make perfect sense. So that way, Ferdinand would be more likable than ever. But no, we had to give all three engines the same exact personality. Blow. Before I get to my number one pick, here are a few disarmable mentions. Splatter and Dodge. I honestly don't hate these characters. Sure, they were useless in the final cut of Thomas Magic Railroad, but like other useless characters, I think they deserve better roles than what they've got. Not to mention they were going to appear in Day of the Diesels and The Great Race as cameos, but they were unfortunately dropped and replaced by Paxton, Sydney, and the mainland Diesels, which is such a shame. Lady. I think she's pretty and a very interesting character. While some don't like her in terms of being an unrealistic plot device, and that's fine and all, but I kinda would like for her to come back in full CGI someday and give her a brand new role, which I doubt would happen. Also, props to Britt Allcroft for doing an excellent job with her voice. Norman. He got beat up by Dennis because I honestly would have liked to see a brand new episode starring him. Sure, he was made to sell toys, but at least he's more likable than the Norman from the CGI Fireman Sam series. And my number one least favorite Thomas character is Charlie. In case you didn't know, I absolutely hate Charlie more than Billy and the Locking Locos combined. Not only he's such a dope, but a lot of his jokes are very unfunny. I thought Doug Walker was bad when it comes to cheap jokes, but Charlie really gets on my nerves. What's even worse is that, unlike his cousin Billy, who only appeared once in the show, Charlie appears more than once in the CGI series. My least favorite episode involving the character has to be Ho-Ho Snowman, because not only his snowman jokes are painfully unfunny, but he doesn't seem to be very kind to Henry because most engines hate snow. Once again, I don't hate Sharon Miller. I'm sure she's very sweet, but I know she could do better than this. If you haven't seen my top 10 best Sharon Miller episodes video, you should definitely check it out. Like Billy, I do like Charlie's design, number 14, and purple paint, and I don't mind both of his UK and US voices for the show. It's the personality and jokes that irritate me. And those are all the reasons why Charlie deserves to be number one as the worst character in the entire franchise. In conclusion, like I always say, as bad as these characters are, they all have the potential to be good. I mean, just because they're bad characters doesn't mean they have no reason to exist. Every character deserves better, including those that only appeared once in the show. Now tell me in the comments section on which Thomas character is your least favorite. Do you agree with my list, or do you have your own personal preference? Oh, and an important update. The top 25 best Andrew Brenner episodes video will take longer than expected because I haven't finished the script for it yet, and I still need to binge watch all the Renaissance episodes and choose which ones are the absolute best. So please be very patient about it, okay? This is Trevor Davis, signing off.